welcome to our cozy corner of the internet, where we talk about all things English learning and how to make the most of your time. I'm here with my friend Emma, and today we're going to dive into a topic that I think is really important for all of us, making every day count.
Exactly, and to add to that, I think it's so easy to get caught up in our daily routines and forget that time is a precious resource. So, let's make a conscious effort to value it, right?
Right. Picture this in your mind. You're standing in front of a huge clock, and each tick is a reminder that time is passing. It's a bit daunting, but it's also a great motivator. So, let's get started and explore how we can make the most of our time to improve our English skills.
Yeah, and before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you and get your feedback. Also, take a moment to reflect on this question. One thing I want to achieve with my English learning in the next month is Dodin 7 SOS.
Great reminder, Emma. Now, I have to share a personal story with you all. I used to be really bad at managing my time, and I would often find myself procrastinating and watching hours of TV instead of studying. It was a vicious cycle, and I felt so guilty about it.
I think so many people know exactly how that feels, Liam. It's like you want to make progress, but somehow you just can't seem to get started. But the good news is that it's never too late to change, and we can start with small, manageable steps.
Exactly. So, let's talk about some of these steps. First, let's discuss the concept of pocket practice sessions. What does that mean to you, Emma?
I love this idea. Pocket practice sessions are basically short, focused periods of time where you dedicatedly practice a specific English skill, like listening or speaking. It could be as short as 10-15 minutes a day.
Yeah, that's right. And the key is to make it a habit so it becomes second nature. For example, you could listen to a podcast like ours while you're commuting to work or school.
Exactly. And to add to that, you could also use that time to reflect on what you've learned and make connections to your own life. Like, oh, I learned a new word today and it reminds me of a similar word in my native language.
That's a great point, Emma. Another important aspect of effective time management is cutting distractions. What are some common distractions that you think get in the way of our learning, Emma?
Well, for me, it's definitely social media. I mean, it's so easy to get sucked into scrolling through your feeds, and before you know it, hours have passed.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. But think about it. What if we could use that time for something more productive, like learning a new language?
Exactly. And it's not just social media. It's also things like email notifications, phone calls, or even just having the TV on all these things can be huge distractions and really eat into our time.
Right, so how can we avoid these distractions and stay focused? One strategy that works for me is to use the Pomodoro Technique.
Oh, I've heard of that. It's like you work and focus 25-minute increments and then take a 5-minute break, right?
Exactly. And after 4 cycles, you take a longer break of 15-30 minutes. It's really helpful for staying on track and avoiding burnout.
That makes sense. And what about balancing study with rest? I think that's a really important aspect of time management that we often overlook.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in studying and trying to make progress that we forget to take care of ourselves. But the truth is, rest is just as important as study.
Exactly. When we're well rested, we're more focused, more productive, and we retain information better. So it's really important to make time for self-care and relaxation.
Right, and that's where the concept of fun media immersion comes in. What does that mean to you, Emma?
I love this idea. Fun media immersion is basically using engaging media like TV shows, movies, or videos to learn English in a more enjoyable way. It could be watching a TV show with English subtitles or listening to a podcast like ours.
Yeah, that's right. And the key is to make it fun, so you don't feel like you're studying all the time. Like you could watch a TV show and then discuss it with a friend or family member.
Exactly. And another important aspect of effective time management is setting realistic goals and prioritizing tasks. What are some tips you have for that, Liam?
Well, for me, it's all about breaking down big goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Like, if you want to learn a new language, You could start by setting a goal to learn a certain number of words each day.
That makes sense, and it's also important to prioritize tasks based on their level of importance and urgency. Like if you have a deadline to meet, you should focus on that first.
Exactly. And finally, let's talk about the importance of tracking progress and reflecting on our learning journey. What are some ways we can do that, Emma?
I think that's a great question. One way is to keep a language learning journal where you track your progress and reflect on what you've learned.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you could also use a habit tracker or a planner to stay organized and motivated.
Exactly. And it's also important to celebrate our successes, no matter how small they may seem. Like if you've been practicing English for a month and you can have a basic conversation with someone, that's something to be proud of.
Right. Now, let's move on to our word tour section, where we'll be exploring some vocabulary words that are related to time management and English learning.
Sounds like a plan. Our first word is procrastination. Procrastination means putting off or delaying tasks until the last minute.
Yeah, that's right. For example, I've been procrastinating on my English homework all day, and now I have to stay up late to finish it.
Exactly. Another example is procrastination is a bad habit that can really hurt your productivity and motivation.
Repeat, procrastination.
Our next word is discipline. Discipline means having the self-control to stick to a routine or plan.
Yeah, that's right. For example, it takes discipline to wake up early every day and practice English for an hour.
Exactly. Another example is having discipline is key to achieving your goals and making progress in your English learning journey.
Repeat, discipline.
Our next word is motivation. Motivation means having the drive or enthusiasm to do something.
Yeah, that's right. For example, I'm feeling really motivated to learn English today, so I'm going to practice for a few hours.
Exactly. Another example is finding motivation is important for staying consistent and making progress in your English learning journey.
Repeat, motivation.
Our next word is productivity. Productivity means being able to produce or accomplish something efficiently.
Yeah, that's right. For example, using a planner helps me stay productive and focused throughout the day.
Exactly. Another example is being productive means making the most of your time and energy to achieve your goals.
Repeat, productivity.
Our next word is prioritize. Prioritize means to decide what is most important and focus on that first.
Yeah, that's right. For example, I need to prioritize my tasks for the day so I can make sure I get everything done on time.
Exactly. Another example is prioritizing your goals and tasks helps you stay focused and motivated.
Repeat, prioritize.
Our next word is realistic. Realistic means being practical and sensible about what you can achieve.
Yeah, that's right. For example, it's not realistic to think I can learn a new language in just a few weeks.
Exactly. Another example is setting realistic goals helps you stay motivated and focused on what you can achieve.
Repeat, realistic.
Our word is consistent. Consistent means something regularly and repeatedly over a long period of time.
Yeah, that's right. For example, consistent is key to in your English learning journey.
Exactly. Another example is being in your study habits helps you build momentum and stay motivated.
Repeat, consistent.
Our next word is reflective. Reflective means thinking carefully about something such as your learning journey.
Yeah, that's right. For example, time to reflect on my learning journey helps me identify areas where I need to improve.
Another example, being reflective, you learn from your mistakes and make progress in your English learning journey.
Repeat. Yeah, that's right. For example, it's okay, make mistakes. Being resilient means you can learn from them and keep moving forward. Speaker 2. Exactly. Another example is, being resilient helps you motivated and focused on your goals, even when things get tough. Repeat, resilient.
And that's all for today's word tour section. I hope you found it helpful and informative.
Yeah, me too. And finally, before we go, I just want to remind everyone to be kind to themselves and to take it one step at a time. Learning a language is a journey. It's okay to make mistakes along the way.
Exactly, and don't forget to take care of yourself, both physically and mentally. It's so important to prioritize your well-being and make time for self-care.
Right. Well, that's all for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more episodes like this one.
And you have any questions or topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to leave a comment below.
Exactly. We love hearing from you and responding to your comments.
All right, that's for now. Take care and happy learning.
Yeah, happy learning, and we'll see you all soon.